What's up, nerds? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block for November 14th, 2017. A very big game. A very big day, I should say, in Nintendo gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan, alongside me, as always, that chocolate deliciousness, Edward Varnell.
Pika Pika, everybody.
Oh, yeah, it got the Pokemon 2DS. That's exciting.
Yes.
That's exciting.
I have not taken it out the box yet.
Oh, man. Why not?
I was kind of waiting for the show. Kind of want to, I don't know, do a live unboxing for it.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so as everybody can see, this is the 2DS in the back of it. So I'm going to take it out. It does have a charger in it, so.
Yeah, my 2DS came with one too.
So comes with some AR cards.
Nice.
Some instructions. And the system itself. Ooh, I like the texture of it. So people can see it. And then opens up like that.
That's me.
It looks really nice. Huh?
I saw me on the screen.
Oh, there go the nub. Yeah, it feels really nice. It's really light too. I think it's almost just like the new 2DSs. On how light it feels. I see the memory card right there. So memory card part down there for the micro and SD. Headphone jack. The power button. I guess your power button is still here too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then gotta find out where the stylus is at.
It's in the bottom. It's right next to the power button, I think.
Okay. It's right where the headphone jack. Okay, so it's kind of small. I thought it would be bigger.
Yeah, it's like smaller
longer
than I think than the 3DS one. I think.
Yeah, but that is the unboxing of it. It has this big part, which is weird, but yeah, I guess I'll take it. I don't know. Was it like almost like your 2DS, like this part?
Yeah,
Corey?
yeah. It's just the nicer hinge on it instead of like the hinge being worked into the top screen. It's just a hinge that separates the two screens. So like when you open it, it's not really gonna like rub together or anything. So
you go to L and R button, and then the
ZL and ZR.
Yeah, right there. But yeah, that is the reveal. I'm probably gonna charge it up and get it online.
Show the front. Show the front of it. Show the front. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Does that button press in? Does it do anything when you press it?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a button that you can actually press.
Wow. Wow.
But I don't know what it does yet.
Charge it up, and by the end of the episode, we'll just be like, oh, man. Ed.
Yes.
Ed.
Hi, boss. Yes.
I'm so excited.
Woo.
There are so many things happening. So many things.
Yes, it is.
Ah, man, so many games come out today. Batman, Lego Marvel superheroes, a lot of other things.
Little Dude 2, Farming Simulator 2.
LA Noire comes out today. Skyrim comes out on Friday. So many things, so many games this week.
Dude, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon this Friday. Like, that's big.
Yeah, I always forget that 3DS still has games coming out. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And we don't even know the indie games that's dropping. The not Battle Chasers. That cooking one with the girl and the guy, the chefs. It's an indie game. That one comes out, I think, this week also. It was in the Nintendo Direct, but I can't think of it. like Battle something.
Oh, Battle Chasers is out this week?
No, not Battle Chasers. It was something else.
Got me really excited. Ed, you're getting me really excited. Let's see. Out today, as according to the Nintendo store. Ready? Out this week. Just this week. Like through Sunday, I guess. So we have Batman Telltale series, Ben 10, It'll Do 2 Plus, LA Noire, Lego Marvel Superheroes. Rhyme comes out today. What? Rocket League. And that's for Switch, it looks like. For 3DS, Antiquia Lost, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and then the Veteran Trainers Dual Pack of Ultra Sun and Moon. And then Skyrim comes out on Friday. Green Game Time Swapper comes out on Friday. Rive comes out on Friday. VVV comes out on Friday. Xenoraid comes out on Friday. And that's the list of games just coming. Ugh. Ah, man. Dude, so many games. I'm ready for Batman. It'll Do 2 looks like a top-down Zelda that people will like. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 looks great. Rhyme's going to be amazing. Rocket League. So many games, not enough money.
Exactly.
Woo! Sorry. Oh, Gear Club Unlimited got a price cut, by the way.
Nice.
It's no longer $60. It's $44.99 on Switch. So,
cool.
That's cool. That's coming out next Tuesday, I think. So, and then at the end of the month is Resident Evil. So excited.
Resident Evil Revelations. When it too?
Oh man, I'm so excited. So
but then games. Corey.
What?
After Thanksgiving.
Yeah, please don't. Stop it. Xenoblade. I know.
Yes.
I know.
Yes, I can't wait.
I know. I'm so excited. But man, dude, there's so many games coming out. There's so many cool things just happening in the world of Nintendo, and it makes me excited.
Yes.
So, okay, well, there's not really a ton of news really that we're going to talk about, but there are a couple things I do want to talk about today. Before we get into what we've been playing, well, after we get into what we've been playing, Xenoblade, we didn't get to the Xenoblade Direct, which will kind of glaze over this, like the simplified version of it. There's a lot of DLC coming to that game.
Yes.
I want to talk about some of the things that are happening for Nintendo, like the new Arms Fighter was teased, stuff like that. Hulu is on Switch now. That was this random thing that happened this week.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's really weird for Hulu to be Netflix.
Did you listen to the NVC episode where they had the guy on and like they were talking about the Rogue Squadron stuff?
Oh no, I gotta listen to it. I heard it was a really good episode.
Dude, he wants to bring Rogue Squadron
Rogue
4.
Galaxy. No, not Rogue Galaxy.
Rogue Squadron 4 Rogue Leaders to Switch it has a campaign, and it's kind of like an All-Stars version of of all three Rogue Squadron games, the campaign. It's like the super long campaign. But then it has an online multiplayer component where you can upgrade your ships and stuff, where it was like, and this was the game that was supposed to come to Wii, right? And never did. And then they tried to port it to Xbox 360, but never did either. And it was just like, oh, dude, it's like,
that would be heaven almost.
Man. So that was a cool discussion I want to have a little bit. And then there was a very interesting rumor thread that was picked up, and like a lot of places were kind of reporting it, and like it's a very take it with a grain of salt type of thing, but a lot of the things seem plausible even if they're not real. And I think it's worth the discussion of having like just talking about the rumors that came out on this what was it, Reddit thread, I think.
Reddit thread.
You know, there's Metroid Prime rumors, there's some other games in there that are like not completely out of the question for coming to Switch. So we'll have that discussion. Now, we don't necessarily believe in these rumors. I think they're just rumors that are worth having a discussion about and how these games would turn out if things were happening. So those are the things I want to talk about. But Ed, before we get into that, what have you been playing?
Well, I beat Super Mario Odyssey, and I am going back to get some more moons.
Are we going to talk a little bit spoilers now that you've beaten it? Just a little bit. Not that there's really like spoilers to a Mario campaign, but there's one kind of big spoiler after the credits roll that are pretty awesome.
You know what? Let's say that for Thursday show.
Thursday show, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For Friday show, I should say. Only reason is because I think that's enough time for people to finally have beaten the game, because there are people who are still getting Switches and still getting
Matt
the
just
game.
got a Switch. He got the Mario bundle. Did you see that?
Nice. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That was cool.
So we'll do it for Friday show, I should say.
Okay.
Because I think we shouldn't spoil it. Let's give a lot of people enough time, just a few couple of days to get to that point, and then we'll go in on it. So yeah, I did that. Picked up Doom. Haven't started it yet. Super ready to play that game, but of course I'm playing other stuff. Gears of War 4, Final Fantasy 12, Zodiac Age, Dragon Quest 8. I'm actually going to take that Dragon Quest out of my 3DS and play it on my 2DS. I want to see if I can tell the difference for it. Because I'm keeping my 3DS because I got too many games on that I bought digitally.
You can't just transfer it? You don't want to transfer it?
I'm not about to do the transfer. Because when I set up this 2DS, it's gonna be under a different account for my Nintendo, because the account that I have it on is not part of my 3DS.
Gotcha.
That I account. So I'd rather just start a whole new account on my 2DS. Plus I already beat those games, so it's just like there's no purpose. So
yeah. Games.
Yeah, but I'm really about to dip into because Mario Odyssey is actually my first Nintendo Switch game that I beat. I'm going to be starting Breath of the Wild soon for Switch. But I'm gonna jump into Wolfenstein 2 a little bit later. That's why I took it out and started up Final Fantasy 12 because everybody else was playing it. But yeah, Dragon Quest 8 is my main thing for handheld. And I was just thinking about, man, Xenoblade is on 3DS and we still got copies at work, and I need to pick up one and play it on my 2DS.
Yeah. Dude, the 3DS version is like, after you play like Xenoblade X, like,
yeah,
going back to like handheld on the 3DS and playing Xenoblade 1 is kind of rough. I appreciate the work that they put into that game, making it fit on the 3DS, and if like the 3DS is your only Nintendo console, like, it's definitely worth picking up, but like ooh, it's
it's
really
a little bit rough.
It's hard to see things that are happening.
Wow.
But
and what I also got Monster Hunter 4 for it, but I haven't started on 3DS, so I'm gonna play it on my 2DS because now I got the analog, the nub. I can play it on there. So yeah.
Man, is that all you've been playing though?
Yeah, that's all I've been playing. Cause still, but like I said, I'm gonna start up Battlefield Hardlines for Xbox One, and just work on pretty much Hardlines for Xbox, Final Fantasy for PS4, Doom, and probably Breath of the Wild. Actually, I need to get back into Mario and Rabbids because I need to finish that game also. and then for the DS systems, Dragon Quest 8, and then SteamWorld Dig. I'll finish up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. For me, I've been trying to game a little bit, but I haven't really had a lot of time because of work and stuff. But I have been playing Doom. Now, I've played about an hour and a half of the campaign, and dude, that game looks amazing on Switch. Like I mean, like if you need a console version, like I wouldn't recommend the Switch version, right? Because
Uh-huh.
like clearly the Xbox One version will play better, and the PS4 version will like they'll look better. Uh, but like, man, does this game look good on Switch? Like honestly, if you would have just comparing it side by side with like the other two versions, it's like okay, you can clearly see the difference in the things that they did differently to make it fit. But like, man, if you were to tell me that that was the Xbox One version, like it just giving me a screenshot or showing me the TV while it was on or something, like
Yeah.
I might have believed you. I mean, it looks really good. It only runs at 720p on Switch, like even docked, and it's like, okay, I get it. Like, it is a little bit blurry, and like, but like that blurriness is kind of hidden by the motion blur that Doom gives you when you move.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of not really there, and like, oh man, dude, it plays so good. It feels just like Doom. Like,
And
I didn't even really notice. Like, I noticed a little bit, but the frame rate drop from 60 to 30. But man, that sense of speed and the motion blur hides that frame rate so well that like I probably would have put it in like the low 40s maybe, like the
oh,
frame
okay.
rate. Like it feels really good to play. It's a really solid port of that game, and like if you want Doom on the go and Switch is your like primary console on the go, like it's awesome. And
Uh,
oh, ask because
Oh,
I have another thing I want to talk about Doom. Like,
I just like the reviews has been good, like with a lot of eights and stuff, and they said like that it's a good game to play on the go, uh, and a lot of people just some people were just like I don't even touch multiplayer, so that part, a lot of people feel like it's a good way that's very optional if you want it.
yeah, but see, like that's what I'm about to talk about is the multiplayer.
Okay, go ahead.
The multiplayer. So a lot of people who don't know, the multiplayer was done by a lot of ex Halo guys at Certain Affinity, right?
Hmm.
It feels like Halo. The multiplayer feels like Halo because
Wow.
it has like the three weapon loadout, and like there's power weapons and stuff, and like you choose from an arsenal of weapons, right? Like there's three classes that you can level up, but you can also like earn gear for your character and like color your characters different and make sure you have different shaders on and helmets and stuff, and it's just like this is straight up Halo multiplayer. Like it feels a lot like Halo 3 to be honest with you. Where like
Wow.
it's really fast paced arena based multiplayer, and like I think Doom's multiplayer has found might find a second life on Switch because Switch doesn't have any like super competitive multiplayer games,
Yeah.
and like Xbox has Halo, Destiny, Call of Duty, Battlefront, Battlefield, like Titanfall. They have all these things to choose from, but like you don't really get any of that on a Nintendo console, and it's like I think if somebody wants like a arena based competitive multiplayer shooter,
Hmm.
Doom is an amazing option. Like
Is it 4-on-4 or just four players?
it's 4 on 4 or like free for all. Like there's a bunch of different modes. I just jumped into like the team multiplayer thing, like team
Okay.
deathmatch. I think I think it's just called team deathmatch, and it's like it's basically 4 on 4, and you go in and it's just a giant arena based thing. But like honestly, like I'm like super surprised that I'm saying this, but I actually enjoyed Doom's multiplayer. I always heard like it's okay, but there's like 1,000 better options, and the multiplayer doesn't really feel like the campaign. Which,
Uh-huh.
to be fair, the multiplayer was built on a different engine. It was built for the original vision of Doom 4, right? Like the Call of Duty on Mars type thing. So like,
Yeah.
that's the engine they're using, and that's what it feels like. It feels like that's what it feels like. It feels like you have your loadouts, you have your Marine guy that you put armor on, and you just go and shoot people, and like, dude, it's amazing. It feels really good. Like,
Oh, that's good.
and
That's
it's
really
like,
good to hear.
and it's like, I don't know how much time I'm really gonna spend with Doom multiplayer, but if like I really just kind of feel like messing around, and or people like really get into Doom multiplayer, like
Uh-huh.
I'll jump in and play with people, and it feels really good. It's fast paced. It's the level designs are really smartly done. Like it kind of has that old school kind of like Quake Unreal Tournament vibe in terms of level design.
Ah,
Where
nice.
like there's multiple like levels around the outsides of the levels, and then there's like hidden doorways and like secret paths to get power weapons and stuff like that. And it's a really nice surprise to have a solid multiplayer suite on the Switch. Like, Splatoon is probably the closest thing you have to a competitive multiplayer game on
Yeah,
Switch.
but that's different than
Yeah.
actual what Doom is about. So
Yeah, and I think the closest thing I can compare it to is if like Unreal Tournament and Halo 3 kind of mashed together, and that's what Doom's multiplayer feels like.
ooh, that's good.
Yeah, and like, I understand it's probably not for everybody, and a lot of people are going to go different directions for their multiplayer, but like,
Mhm.
honestly, if you're looking for a solid multiplayer experience on Switch somewhere other than a Nintendo game, like this is an amazing choice.
I'm probably gonna watch a YouTube or see if someone's doing it on Twitch. I kind of want to see a match.
Yeah,
Uh,
but man,
but that's awesome, dude. Like Halo 3's multiplayer and Unreal
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah, it's real solid, man, and I could not recommend it enough. Honestly, like if Switch is your only option to play multiplayer games, like solid choice. But other than that, Mario Odyssey, I've been fiddling around with it here and there. Sana and I played Mario Kart a lot last week. Mario Kart still is just so much fun to just mess around in, and like, even if people you're playing with aren't as like experienced and stuff, like there's ways to make it fun for them, and it's a blast. It's just dumb fun. You just go into the versus thing and you set up like 6 or 8 races random, and you play the random courses, and it's fun. And like the dumb things people yell when they're mad at you for hitting them with a red shell.
Ah.
Good times.
The laughter,
Oh,
the comedy.
But that's about all I've been playing in terms of Nintendo stuff. I've been playing a little bit of Fire Emblem Heroes too, just when my Switch is charging and I'm just kind of sitting on the couch watching TV and stuff. I'm still making my way through Fire Emblem Heroes. It's okay. I mean, like I want a full Fire Emblem game is what I really want, but like this is okay to pass the time, and so
Yeah, I'm probably gonna work on Warriors this weekend.
yeah.
Since I'm off.
Yeah. But anyways, it's just other than that, I guess I could save it for Arsenal X this weekend, but like I'm starting to play Rise of the Tomb Raider again. Like I didn't know if I should start with Tomb Raider or Rise of the Tomb Raider. And I think I'm just going to jump right into Rise of the Tomb Raider. So like I'm really excited to play that, and
Yes.
Quantum Break I'm also installing. Well, it's done installing now, but like I told you, it took me like 3 days to install it because I have the energy save mode on my Xbox, so it just turns off after like 2 hours of non-use. So like I turn it on thinking like, oh, it'll be done downloading by the time I get home, and then it just turns off in the middle of it. So but I finally got it downloaded, so I do plan on playing that. But that's kind of it. I'm just kind of still surprised at how good Doom's multiplayer was. But
yes.
well, Ed, I think it's time to get into some news bits. are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? All right. So,
Yes.
A little bit about the Xenoblade Direct, since that's kind of the next big game coming to Switch. I understand Skyrim's coming in a couple days, but like that game's been out. We don't need to talk about it.
Right.
So Xenoblade is getting a season pass, and some of it is like cosmetic stuff. Some of it is, some of it's like okay. So I was stalling until I found the site. Okay, helpful items for your adventure, starting in December. New quests for the main game starting in January. New rare blade, which I think that's what the characters are called, right? They're called blades.
Yes.
So pretty much a new character joining the team in spring 2018. Powerful new enemies and a new challenge mode in the summer, and then brand new story content at next fall. So it's getting a pretty decent chunk of content, and it's what, $20?
Well, they didn't give a price to it yet.
Well, the European price is £29.99, euros.
Okay.
Upside down J's, sevens. I don't know. I don't know what weird symbols they use.
I think hopefully for Nintendo of America, hopefully it's $20. If it's $24, I'll be fine with that too, because I'm like, this is a huge game, and that's gonna take a lot of work to get that kind of stuff in. So I think a lot of people who might be mad at it, I'm just like, you're really paying for the development cost, and I'm like, it's a season pass,
Yeah.
Nintendo's not trying to rob you of anything. This is like, hey, if you want it, you can. Other than that, finish the game on your own, or explore the world that you missed out.
And you don't have to buy it right away. For me, I bought the Zelda expansion pass because, well, I didn't really know how big Zelda was going to be until I started playing.
Okay.
It. But I love Zelda, and I'm like, I want as much Zelda in my life as I possibly can have at one point in time, right? So I got the season pass. It was $20. I got the cool master trial stuff, and now we're getting the champions stuff, and this kind of leads into our next story, which is like, it's slated for a December release, which is what we kind of thought. But like, even now, like, I jumped back into Zelda last week because they dropped Rex's costume from Xenoblade into it, Xenoblade 2.
Yes.
And like, it's not just what they did with the other stuff, which was like, go find these magical chests, right? It's a legit side quest that you have to finish and to get it, right? And it's cool. Like, it's really cool. So I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they didn't really give us any new information. They showed some kind of new footage, but a lot of it is stuff we've already seen, and the new footage wasn't really anything to quote unquote report on. But it's coming. It's 2.5 weeks away, and I'm super stoked.
Yes.
And I think Ed and I are going to do a proper unboxing video of that. Which, side note, Sana's getting. I told Sana that, like, if she asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and like, she's just gonna buy me the controller and let me open it on Christmas. So I won't have the controller to unbox that day, but Ed will. So like, you'll still get the proper unboxing of the controller. So
yes.
But we will both have the collector's edition in hand, ready to go. And I am so stoked. I just got my receipt and my delivery estimate from Amazon. And like, with Prime, I get 20% off. So it's only going to be like $83 for me instead of
the 100.
The 100. And it's like,
yeah.
Yes, which is cool, because I thought Amazon stopped doing special editions. I thought it was only the standard editions. Apparently not. And I'm like, okay. Okay.
Right.
I'm not gonna fight that.
I'm going to go pay mine off on Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that the GameStop I go to, they'll probably be busy, but by the time I get there, like, a lot of the traffic will be gone, so I could just walk in, pay it, and then leave.
Yeah. I'm really excited for Xenoblade Chronicles, and I'm cool if, like, they want to throw in the Zelda, or if they want to throw in Zelda stuff into the mix. I'd be like, okay.
Ooh,
You
the
know,
Master Sword.
like if they just throw like what if that new blade is Link? The new rare blade is just Link or Zelda with the Master Sword.
Wow.
Like
Or
honestly, like that's what I'm thinking. If they're gonna do crossovers like this, that'd be cool.
what about Fee from Skyward Sword?
Mm, maybe. Or what if it's like one of the champions from Breath of the Wild, like Rivali. I think that'd be
Oh,
cool.
yes.
But that's Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out December 1st. If you are unaware or new to the podcast or been living under a rock at how excited we are about this game.
Exactly.
So that's cool. I'm excited. I'm so excited for Xenoblade.
I wonder if people got review copies now.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. That game's so big. I'm sure somebody's got review copies somewhere. If not this week, maybe next week for like a Thanksgiving holiday break style thing, because like American Thanksgiving is next week.
Yes.
So I would not put it past somebody to have review copies at least next week. So, next on the news bits schedule thing that we have here, this non-existent chart that I'm reading off of. New Arms Fighter teased by Nintendo. Nintendo has teased a new Arms Fighter on their Twitter page. Its short video doesn't reveal much besides the fact that the company is working on bringing new content to its Switch fighting game. Arms is a great game. If you own a Switch, please buy Arms. It is a fun, fantastic fighting game, and you will have so much fun playing it by yourself. No joke. You can check out the quick little video below, blah, blah, blah. It pretty much teases, looks like some kind of Native American style tribal type character, because there's totem poles and a forest with a temple. It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. I'm always ready for more Arms fighters. I actually just popped in Arms before we started recording because there was an update last week that I didn't get yet.
Yeah.
So like I haven't downloaded the new fighter, the Robo Springman, like the evil version of Springman. So
Okay.
I'm excited to play that, dude. Like I love Arms. I hope there's like I hope some of the content isn't just characters. I hope they give you like almost like a campaign style game to it, like a I don't know how you would call it. I don't know what you would do with it, but like, man, the concept of Arms is really cool, and I love the character designs, man. It's like I keep saying it's like Nintendo's Overwatch. Like these characters are so cool and like they have really cool designs, and some of them have really cool backstories. We're getting the Arms comic in January, like.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Nintendo markets Arms right, it could be their Overwatch. And like I'm not just saying that because I'm a huge Nintendo fan and a huge Overwatch fan. I'm saying it because that's how they're presenting the game. And so
And I think what Nintendo should do, since Arms is going to be an Evo, they need to market to be like, hey, this game is coming to Evo 2018. If you guys want to experience what these guys will be playing, bam, here go Arms. You're gonna like go to your local retail store or download on the Nintendo eShop.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I think Nintendo's marketing is gonna get very savvy. If they don't, they need to.
Yeah.
Because Arms is a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Really great game.
Yeah. So moving on, Hulu appeared on the Switch eShop this week with the update, which is cool. Nintendo just sent out the press release of game Hulu game. It's like, wait, what? Rewind. So I don't have like a Hulu account, but like I downloaded the Hulu app and I'm like kind of thinking about it, because like it's only what, like $8.
$8, yeah.
So like
It's pretty Netflix. I have a Hulu account. I have Hulu and Netflix.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have Hulu or I have Netflix and Amazon Prime, and I don't really use Amazon as much as I probably should because there's a lot of cool stuff on there. But
mhm.
like Hulu is kind of killing it in that department because they're getting like new shows like day after type stuff, and
Yeah, and it's in HD too, so it's just like, oh, this looks real good, like real crystal clear. And to have like when I'm doing my business, uh, in the bathroom, um, I can sit down and I can watch, continue my show and watch it on Hulu.
yeah.
So it still continues that Wii U spirit and that 3DS spirit.
Man, dude, it's so good, so good.
Yes.
Ah. Okay, so is there any other news that we should really talk about? Mario Odyssey crossover and Mario Run. Sure. I mean, who's still playing Mario Run at this point?
Some people are. So they got, there was some more downloads for it. It's slowly coming up, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Any last things? Wolfenstein 2 DLC gets a release date. I know it's not out for Switch yet, but I think it's relative because it's coming to Switch. So, and like maybe the DLC will be included in the Switch version. So, I still haven't played Wolfenstein 2 yet, and it's making me sad. The Freedom Chronicles, or Bethesda announced the first of 3 DLC packs. The first will be released in December, and the final pack releasing in March. Players who pre-ordered Wolfenstein 2 have already received Episode 0 as a bonus, but players who didn't pre-order can get it as part of the Season Pass. The post-release content is called the Freedom Chronicles. Episode 0 introduces players to the characters they will be playing in each DLC pack. So the first pack is Gunslinger Joe, which is debuting on December 14th. The second will be Joseph Stallion, a former NFL quarterback who fights back against let me start over. I messed up. Okay, Bethesda Machine Games will release the first DLC pack, The Adventures of Gunslinger Joe, on December 14th. Players will take control of Joseph Stallion, a former NFL quarterback who fights back against the Nazi menace from Chicago to space. So that's the first pack. The second pack, of the Diaries of Agent Silent Death, will release on January 30th and will focus on the exploits of OSS agent Jessica Valiant, an assassin who will fight the Nazi war machine in California to uncover the secret operation Operation San Andreas. So those are the first 2. Again, want to talk about it because there's probably going to be a season pass for the Switch version, or the Switch version may come with all of it bundled in if it comes out after all this. So cool. More Wolfenstein. Haven't played it yet. Hear it's great. Excited.
Yes.
So, okay. So that's kind of it for the big news. Ed, do you have anything else you want to talk about before we hit this rumor mill thing?
I just seen some news that Sonic Forces had a pretty decent launch in the UK, while Doom is moving up in numbers. So it seems like those 2 games had a really strong release in the UK. But other than that, I mean, definitely with the views that Sonic Forces have gotten here in America, it seems that it's one of those for the Sonic fans games, and that continued to make it money and move numbers. So we'll see how it all turns out when the holiday season is over with, if Sonic Forces could continue to sell.
Yeah. Sonic Forces, I'll probably get it at some point. But I don't know. It's going to be a wait for me now, just because of all the other great games, and, well, Xenoblade. it all comes back to Xenoblade, man. Xenoblade takes priority over everything. So, but I'm happy to see it got a good launch. It's not getting great reviews, but like, then again, Sonic isn't really like quote unquote for us. It's for kids. Like Sonic's always been popular with kids, and and like that's if kids are digging it, I'm all for it. It's cool. So, all right, Ed, let's dive into this rumor mill.
Let's dive right on in.
Okay, so oh no, stop it. Okay, sorry. Sometimes when you go to these sites, like since I'm recording through OBS, I have to record the desktop audio, which is you and whatever websites are open at that time. So like I have to be careful what websites to open because sometimes they have ads that play.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you're going to hear like random like blips in the audio. So I'm sorry. There was one there. So I apologize. So there's a leak, a quote unquote leak on Reddit. A leaker on Reddit who revealed the TMNT coming to Injustice 2 just a couple months ago has just put out a massive post detailing many of the games coming to Nintendo Switch soon. As with any Reddit, 4chan, or forum post, take this with a grain of salt, and I cannot express this enough. Please take it with a grain of salt. This is not fact. None of this has been confirmed.
Yes.
We are only bringing this up because we think it would make a great conversation to have on the podcast. So, with all that out of the way, here are the games the Switch might be getting within the next 18 months or so. So, the first thread, there has been... Come on. Okay. There's been pressure towards Game Freak to get Pokemon's 8th generation out in hopes of a release next year. If you recall, Pokemon Stars, that is or was real, but all it was a Sun and Moon port to Switch used as an engine test tech demo. So they're running the Pokemon Stars engine, or the Pokemon Sun and Moon engine on Switch, and it's running. I mean, they got the engine running on Switch, and we already know Game Freak is hiring for HD assets, right? And
yes,
like I said a couple weeks ago, Nintendo is going to do everything they possibly can, including hiring teams just to make assets for Game Freak and the Pokemon Company to get this game out the door. Yes. This will be the biggest game next year, right?
Holiday. And I still think if this game does come out next year, it's November. Just like this month with Ultra Sun and Moon, and like last year with Sun and Moon, it came out in November. So if they're going to work hard to get this game on Switch of next year, it's going to be in November.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this Pokemon is going to be their big game next year. No doubt. I can't stress enough that Nintendo already has such a heavy slate for next year.
Yes.
That Pokemon is just going to be the sweet, sweet icing on the amazing cake we're already getting next year. Okay. So Pokemon probably happening. I mean, I would put so much money on Pokemon coming to Switch next year. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
The next rumor is that Metroid Prime 4 should have something revealed with some in-game footage early next year from what I've heard. I'm hearing that a direct in January particularly. So, I mean, we kind of figured that maybe after Xenoblade comes out and the Zelda DLC comes out that there would be a direct at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year. Bandai Namco is co-developing the game with Nintendo. I don't know which development studio. So Bandai Namco's done development for Nintendo before. Smash Brothers, Star Fox. But at the same time, I don't know how I feel about that rumor specifically. Like I think we might see Metroid Prime 4, but I don't think we're going to see it till E3 to be honest.
Yeah. I have a feeling and I know I told you this, I have a feeling that Mercury Steam is doing this development in-house with Nintendo. I
I
think
don't
that
think so. I think Mercury Steam is better at the side-scrolling stuff than it is at the 3D stuff.
Mhm.
I think Mercury Steam's working on a port of Metroid of Samus Returns. To be honest with you,
Well, because I don't know what they're going to have to go with a Western developer to make Metroid Prime 4 because there's not a lot of Japanese developers who can make a first person shooter. You know, the Sarija Debris or something like that, that Final Fantasy shooter.
oh,
That
Dirge of
was like
Cerberus.
Dirge of Cerberus, yeah. How bad that was. And I don't think the people want to go back to that day of design of a first person shooter. So I
I mean,
think
to be fair, that
Nintendo,
was a PS2 game, and it's evolved from a lot. But like, I know
oh,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
But I think Nintendo is probably maybe stepping out and looking at an indie developer or looking at a American developer to come in and help them make that game.
Yeah. I
Or it might be actually be in house. It might actually be Nintendo doing it.
see if this rumor is any has any like thing to it. I bet Nintendo's doing like the level design, and
Uh,
Namco's doing like maybe asset creation or like if this rumor's true, like maybe system level stuff or stuff like that. I think Nintendo is probably going to have a pretty heavy hand in this development. I think they're going to do it most of it in house, but exciting nonetheless.
yes.
I cannot wait to see what that game. I cannot wait to see Metroid in HD because we have not seen it yet.
I am so not ready for that because
It's going to
I
look like Halo 5 or Halo 4 and 5, I think.
well
Like
I
in terms of like the color palette and like just the
yeah.
brightness of the colors and like sorry, I hit my microphone. Scared me. I was like, whoa. But man, yes, Metroid man. Sorry, continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're right. It's the color palette is the stuff that's going to be there. It's going to be like I want to see that rain effect, that water effect when it hits Samus helmet. I want to see the vast environment. Like their art direction has got to be on point, so I could just marvel at it. I still marvel at just the regular trilogy. I just marvel at. So to see what they're gonna do with this or whoever does it, the artwork really has to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just super happy, and I agree with you. We'll probably see some more of it at E3. I think it's going to be they'll lead off with Metroid Prime 4 or they'll end it with Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, I think
Unless
they're
they,
gonna end it with Metroid. Like honestly, like we know it's coming, but I think a big like last thing, like even if that Donkey Kong rumor is real, I think
uh,
they're gonna lead with something like Donkey Kong and then move into like I really don't know at this point, like Pokemon footage and indie stuff, and then like they would totally end with Metroid, right? Like
uh,
I just feel like Metroid's been gone for so long from like a main console standpoint that like you have to end with a bang. You have to end with a bang. Like people will be excited for Donkey Kong, people will be excited for Pokemon, people will be like, but we know what those things are because they're so recent. But to see
yes,
Samus take off her helmet for the first time in HD, or like see like her in the Zero suit getting ready to put on like the power suit and like come out of the top of her ship. What if that's like the thing? Like, you see like these cuts of like her like in like her spaceship and then her walking up to like a how Master Chief was in one of those things in Halo 1, like you just see the power suit in one of those things and you just see it kind of raise up and the door opens and the suit kind of opens up and she steps into it, and then like but you don't see her face at all, right? You just kind of see her from like maybe the shoulders down or whatever, and
yeah,
then all of a sudden you see like from the top down kind of dark, you see the blonde hair in the power suit raise up out of the ship, and then it cuts away, and then all of a sudden you just see her kind of like look up, almost like up at the stars or whatever, and then she's like, it's time to go to work or whatever, and then she just puts her helmet on, and then it cuts as soon as she puts the helmet on.
Yeah,
Ah,
I can see that.
no,
I can
dude.
see
I'm
that.
just saying, like, what if for me to get
Well,
hyped about
I,
that, like,
I,
be amazing.
it will literally blow my mind. We'll see who the antagonist is, and if it's Mother Brain, I'm just saying, if they somehow bring Mother Brain back, and it's just, I, if they bring Mother Brain back and she is just evil as all ever, I'm going to be like, oh yes, you already won the E3 Nintendo. Like the trailer has got to blow us away.
Yeah, I still think like maybe Mother Brain, but I think if you're going to continue the Metroid Prime universe thing,
Uh huh.
I'm still thinking like Silex is going to be like the main bad guy, and I know Larry has kind of mentioned this on World 1 before, but
Yeah.
he's like super Metroid fan number 1, right? And like he knows about all the villains and stuff and like how the stories kind of interchange whatever. Like I still think like the way it ended, like Silex is gonna come back and be like the main villain, and like maybe it leads into like a new trilogy where like they're gonna focus on this, and then Mother Brain comes back, or like I don't know, man, but like I know what you're saying, like have this monster boss fight with Mother Brain or
Right,
something.
because we don't know how Mother Brain actually came. Because
Maybe
the
maybe
one in other M is not. It's weird.
yeah. Maybe Silex has Mother Brain and is trying to revive Mother Brain, and like Silex is like the main villain to a point
Yes.
until like he revives Mother Brain, and then Mother Brain just like straight up murders him or whatever, and then Mother Brain is like the final boss, right? I'm thinking that maybe that's how it's going to be. Silex has Mother Brain somewhere in like a giant laboratory or something, and is trying to revive
Yes.
Mother Brain.
Yes. Let that be the trilogy. Literally, let that be the new trilogy.
Yeah, it's man, we just wrote it ourselves. Hire us, Nintendo, please. So yeah, it's and like somehow you gotta have like Ridley in there, or a meta Ridley or something, like somehow
Yeah.
maybe that works into like I don't know. I still think maybe Silex is like a pawn villain, you know, like a villain where like yeah, he's a scary villain until the bigger bad villain comes and like takes over, you know, like it's the sequel thing where like okay, the first is if you take like the Dark Knight trilogy for example, like
Uh-huh.
Silex is like Scarecrow, right? Where like Mother Brain would be like the Joker, right? Where like the big bad comes in the second of this new trilogy or something. So, yeah, man, I'm so excited now. I just wrote a game that probably doesn't exist, and I'm super excited.
Yes.
Okay, so the next one, there's some kind of new Animal Crossing that they hope to release next year too. I still think it's going to be. I still think it's viable. Animal Crossing comes next year, but at the same time, like I think they're going to focus on the mobile game instead of a proper Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't mind an Animal Crossing on Switch.
I think what's gonna happen is that's gonna be on the 3DS.
But they've already
Now,
got one. They already have like the 3DS just got the huge update this year though.
yeah, but I'm just like, maybe if they do it with Switch, it will also like connect with the 2D the
Mobile.
3DS versions
Maybe. I don't know.
and the phone game. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, I think it's more likely to connect with the iPhone game than the 3DS one. Just because the 3DS one's so old right now and it just got that huge amiibo update.
Mhm.
And with them moving forward, I think it would make more sense to connect with the mobile game. But next rumor, the Switch Virtual Console will not be like how it is currently known to be like. There is some kind of subscription service of sorts in the works, which kind of already revealed by Nintendo.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care. I would rather just buy the games and keep them forever kind of deal. But I just want Virtual Console on Switch like really bad.
Yes.
Mother 3 is real. According to my source, it was completely localized and playable. The sad thing is that I've heard is that it is being held back for some reason, which all I know is something to do with not knowing which month to release it in. I also think if it is real, it probably has some licensing issues with the music. But again, I personally don't really care about Mother 3, but I know there's a lot of Earthbound fans that will be excited.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like if they release Mother 3, the trilogy will finally be out. And so
here's the one that kind of makes me think like, okay, these rumors aren't that convincing. Come on, website. Come on. What is happening? Why won't this website just scroll down? Okay. According to one of my sources, they claim that Square Enix is doing The World Ends With You 2 exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. That game is a super cult classic to the point where, like, I don't know if they would ever really make a sequel to that. Except for, like, they are putting those characters in Kingdom Hearts. And there is going to be a World Ends With You world in Kingdom Hearts 3, I think. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if people really care that much about the World Ends With You.
I would rather have a re-release for the 2DS/3DS. Because not a lot of people played it. And that game mechanic is was something... It was a little bit difficult, but something really new and very trial and error at that time. So,
lastly, Blizzard is preparing a Hearthstone port to Switch. I'm not sure when this will be announced due to the phrasing, but I heard about this when I was at BlizzCon.
No, Blizzard said they would love to have it on Switch.
I mean, I knew
there's just no plans for it.
Yeah, and like I understand you want to keep things under wraps, but I feel like if they were going to port it to Switch, BlizzCon would have been the place for them to announce it.
Yeah,
because like Blizzard is a lot like Nintendo in the fact that they want to control their own messaging, regardless of what platform they're on.
Did that last announcement that Blizzard did that a lot of people weren't excited for? They're like, oh, okay.
What was that?
I don't know. I think I'll have to look it up. It was some kind of announcement that Blizzard made.
Are you sure it wasn't the Valve announcement for Artifact, the card game that's based on Dota?
It was Blizzard because BlizzCon had just happened like 2 weeks ago. And they had to like announce something, but it didn't. A lot of people weren't like really excited about it. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I think if Blizzard would have announced Hearthstone on Switch at BlizzCon, I think that literally would have stole the show and be the talk of the town.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so too. Okay, so in a separate section of the post, there was another leak concerning Dragonfall Fighters. Fighter Z, I think it's Fighters with a Z.
Fighters.
And Soul Calibur 6 will be coming to the platform. And we know that Bandai Namco is working on 3 games for the Switch. They already said that, so this would kind of fall into that, right? They're the ones that do those games, right? Both of those games, right? Namco Bandai does Soul Calibur. Is that correct?
Yeah. Namco Bandai does Soul Calibur. What was the other game?
Dragon Ball Fighters.
That's that's Bandai Namco also. Okay. Yeah.
So I mean 1, 2 right there, and then if there's any thing to this Metroid thing, I still think that they would be more fit to work on a port of Smash Brothers if they're doing a deluxe version of Smash Brothers for Wii U. Mm-hmm. But there's a Switch port of Dragon Ball Fighters in the works. Unreal Engine 4's UE 4.15 is Switch friendly, so that may explain why the Switch port is coming later. I do not know what Unreal Engine 4 version it uses for other platforms. The much demanded Nintendo Switch version will likely come out next year in the autumn or winter. And then the second part of this is I was told Soul Calibur 4 or Soul Calibur 6 will be for PS4, PC, and Nintendo Switch. There was no Xbox One version mentioned. The game should be revealed by the end of the year and mark the 21st anniversary. That's a weird anniversary. One trustworthy source told me it would be revealed at PSX. If the Switch version is not announced in a matter-of-fact way alongside it with multi-platform games, due when revealed at a specific console's event, then it should be announced during the Nintendo Direct in January that we keep hearing about. The source who told me about the Switch version is different from the one who told me about the game's existence, I might add. They also told me that Link would return as a guest character for that version. That'd be cool. I mean, it'd be a really cool callback to the GameCube version. Because, like...
Yeah. But... And I would love to see that happen. I really do. We gotta see if Sony doesn't pony up any exclusive money for it.
Yeah. I don't think Sony will pony up any money. They've already got Street Fighter. They already did Street Fighter, right? I mean, that's quote unquote their fighting franchise now. So like, I don't know. Like, the only thing I can think of is if they would pony up money for a guest character, and I mean, Aloy's everywhere now. You see her in Monster Hunter. Yeah. You see her stuff popping up in other games. So like,
well, they gonna probably want to get Kratos in it.
Oh yeah, because God of War. You're right. That would be smart. You're right. Wow, that'd be good actually, because he uses a ton of different weapons.
Yeah, and plus he was in Mortal Kombat 9. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I really forgot about that. But that's kind of all the rumors. Like, they're cool and like a lot of them are plausible. But like we said, take it with a grain of salt. There's a lot of rumors out there that aren't true. Like, I mean, you look at the Superman Game Informer cover story and the way people ran with that, and it was like there was no substance to that tweet whatsoever. It was literally just a tweet that people ran with, right? And so, I mean, maybe eventually it's a cover story, but like, you know, their cover story now is Monster Hunter. So, I don't really know what to say except for like, again, take it with a grain of salt. But like,
yeah,
I would be excited for most of these things.
I think most of it probably will get revealed if it was supposed to be true at E3. I don't think so much in the next Nintendo Direct, because Nintendo probably has a lot of stuff under wraps. Now, the Metroid one, I think that one is really under wraps. I think Nintendo's not really saying nothing. But the third party stuff, I feel like there are loose lips. Now, like we said, take it with a grain of salt, because Nintendo just doesn't. Nintendo, I should say, doesn't hint or kind of reveal stuff like that, like, or want that stuff kind of leaked out. They have a plan on when stuff that they want to let the gamer know come out. They'll let them know when it comes out, when it's good and ready.
Yeah. I think Nintendo wants to focus on what they want to put out first and foremost, and sprinkle maybe some indies and third parties in there. Because, like, look, we're going to get a ton of directs next year, right? We're probably going to get one in January. We're probably going to get one in, like, March. We'll probably get one right before E3, during E3. Like, there's probably going to be 3 or 4 directs through June. So there's a lot of time to sprinkle these types of announcements in if they don't want to, like, save them for E3. But, like, I think, like, a Soul Calibur announcement would be huge for them at E3. Like, a Link Soul Calibur announcement. I think, the Metroid thing would be huge. And, like, we still don't have a title for the Yoshi game. We don't have a title for the Fire Emblem game. they want to show off Lost Sphere on their system, I'm sure. They want to show off Octopath Traveler, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure they want to show off Wolfenstein 2 running on their system. So,
And Nintendo got their hands in Platinum.
mm-hmm.
Nintendo is holding Platinum to something.
Yeah. And,
Now,
like,
I
even
don't know.
if we're getting ports of those games soon, like, they're going to want to do something with those games first. And it's like,
Exactly.
by the time you get, like, Bayonetta involved, once you get some of these other games involved, once you get their first party involved, indies, you're talking about, like, close to 40 games in one single direct. Like, dude, as excited as I would be for that, that's too many. You want to focus on like 15-ish, maybe, and Nintendo's going to focus on their first parties. And then, if they have a deal with Platinum, they're going to want to focus on that.
Yes. That's why I said Nintendo got their hands in Platinum.
I just got the biggest, most amazing feeling just now.
Is it Bayonetta 3?
What if at E3 you lead off with Metroid and you end with Bayonetta 3?
Gameplay?
Even if it's just a trailer, like that initial Bayonetta 2 trailer or reveal, like that initial one where it was like the moon and stuff, like even if it was just that, what if, you would have to show gameplay. Like I think Bayonetta 3 is going to be one of those games where like you announce it at E3, it's out in the fall next to Pokemon and maybe Donkey Kong.
Yes. Shut the show down with Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
I did say Pokemon for Switch to really like in E3. But if they do Bayonetta, because they got something up their sleeves.
Yeah, like you have, like that would be your 4 big games for E3, right? For the fall.
Yes.
Like you have your tent poles in the fall. You would have, or maybe Metroid doesn't come out in the fall, but like you would have your 4 tent poles for E3, right? You'd have Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon, the Donkey Kong rumor, and then Bayonetta to end the show. And like indies in between, third parties in between.
Oh, just pimp slap everybody. You might as well in the middle of the show just be like Nintendo exclusive and Beautiful Joe 3 just arise. And I would be like, wait, what? And right there, I would be done. They need Capcom needs Beautiful Joe 3 on Switch. It is the perfect fit. 2-player and doing some crazy stuff, like maybe take some ideas from 1-2 Switch, maybe for some of the puzzles and stuff. I would love to see that. Or if everybody wanted to play on one screen, make it a 4-player beat 'em up.
Yeah. I like, man, I know it's way too early to be planning for E3, especially because we're probably going to get 2 directs before then, but like, I'm just thinking about next fall, how they want to do, like, I'm thinking of like a marketing person here. Like if they want to like really get people, like keep the momentum going, like we already know it's coming this spring and, early summer, right? Like they've already kind of talked about it, and that's probably what the January directs are going to be about. And so like you move into June for the fall and winter stuff, and it's like, okay, well, we know Pokemon's coming in November. That'll be the November game. October, probably Donkey Kong, because it's bigger than Bayonetta. Like it's probably like a side-scrolling Donkey Kong will sell a lot of units. That'll be your October game. September,
maybe Retro's game will be finished.
Yeah, like that's another thing. Like, how do you fit Retro's game in there? And like, will Retro's game will it be like a Fire Emblem Warriors Mario Odyssey situation where like you get 2 major franchises in one, like within a couple weeks of each other? Like,
yeah,
if you have 2 major October games or 2 major November games, like I could see them having 2 major November games, Pokemon and Donkey Kong, and then maybe push Bayonetta up to October, and then Retro's game would be September.
And I think maybe Namco Classics might come. I think Namco would do a a new version of their classic games where half of it is the games that you already know, but there are some Japanese arcade games that never came to America that Namco Bandai has made, or Bandai Namco has made, and that would be good to see on Switch. Like I would love, if I'm on a trip, coming to OhioCon, let's say, on a 6-hour train ride, I would love to have some arcades to play on my Switch.
Yeah. Would they do that though? With like they already released Namco Museum. Would they do a second one? I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, I could see them doing one. They do it all the time, but like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like on the fly, like the big titles that they might have next year. Like that's 4 huge tentpole titles already.
What if Injustice 2 comes out with all seasons?
Like a Game of the Year edition almost.
Game of the Year edition.
I mean, like I totally expect that announcement. Like that's not even like if they announce that tomorrow, I would not be surprised because they already said they're looking at the Switch as a viable option to port Injustice. So like,
you'll be able to have your turtles.
I know
on it.
I know. I'd be so happy. But like, you know, I don't doubt that stuff. Like I think Injustice is coming to Switch. I really do. And so like that would just be another, you know.
And I think that's where Link and Samus needs to come into play.
Or no, that game's too dark and gritty for them. Like honestly, like Soul Calibur is violent, yeah, but it's like that violence is so over the top and like ridiculous fighting game violence.
It's teen rated. Injustice is teen rated. That's why.
Yeah,
and Smash is teen rated.
It's dark though. Injustice is way darker than Smash. I don't see them doing that, especially with them pushing the new art style for Link and like Metroid. We really don't know what that's gonna look like yet, and like I don't know. I mean, they could do like Twilight Princess Link in there, I guess, but I don't think Nintendo's gonna try to do anything with them, especially if they're gonna try to do something with Soul Calibur. Like,
well, then they might as well just give them Ganon.
Maybe.
I mean, Ganon is evil, Ganon is dark, and if we're gonna go for a dark feel, why not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think Injustice would be more of a spring announcement, though. Like, I think they would want that out in like April, May area if they did do it, just because like they want to get it out before Evo.
I think it will be a direct announcement, unless they announce it at Evo Japan. I mean,
that could be another thing too. Is like they could announce that game at Evo. So I just think like I don't really know what to think now. Like I think Nintendo. There is so many things to talk about that like how could you possibly fit all of this in a year? Like honestly, how could you fit all of these games in 1 year? That's like, if we're already talking like something around 40 games right now, like literally 40 something games.
Yes.
Not including indies that haven't been announced, not including third party games that haven't been announced. Like, that's literally one new game every 10 days. Like every 9 or 10 days, that's literally one, like if you spaced them all out correctly, like that for the whole year, that is one new game every 9 days.
That just means that the Switch and 3DS, because I want to include them too, will have a literally strong library for 2018. And of course, Xbox One X will have their library, PS4 will have their library, but Switch has a guaranteed strong library from January, even up to September. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and one of them, something within that timeline is going to be Game of the Year nominated.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that how front loaded the spring is. Like, literally, you look at the spring and say, okay, you have Lost Sphere, you have Wolfenstein 2, you have Fire Emblem, Kirby Star Allies, Yoshi, Project Octopath Traveler, possibly Dragon Quest 11 coming in the spring at some point.
Yes.
And then you start moving into the indies. Well, what indie, like right there, that's 7 AAA games right there, like for Switch, and like
and we still
in
got the Xenoblade Chronicles
5 months.
like we still got the Xenoblade Chronicles DLC and updates coming. Like that's more like we haven't even talked about future DLC for games that's out right now.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, we keep saying, but like I don't, we've never been in this situation, and as a Nintendo fan,
Exactly.
like we've never had quote unquote too many games for a Nintendo platform, and like I'm like, I already feel like now we have too many games. Like, look at the list of games we listed just coming out this week for Switch. Like, major games: LA Noire, Sonic Forces, Lego Marvel, Skyrim. Like, those are huge games coming out in 1 week. Like,
Yes.
and next week is it, more games like Gear Club Unlimited's coming out. Something major's coming out on the 20th too.
I mean, and like we got Black Friday, so I mean, not too many games coming out during that time, but there's going to probably be a lot of sales, and hopefully there'll be some good Nintendo sales. So people's library is going to, and Christmas shopping is going to, rack up with some great titles.
Yeah.
Like we still haven't even touched eShop yet, and I know you're saying indie games, but I'm just like, there's Neo Geo games that we don't have, we never discussed Neo Geo games that keep almost coming out every week. That's on Switch, and Neo Geo has a huge library of games.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's interesting. We always get in this conversation of like what's coming to Switch, and like
And
it's overload, man, and like we can speculate all we want, but like we already, like, it's different to speculate what's coming. We already know like what's coming. It's similar to PlayStation, where like they gave us this roadmap like last year of all of their games that are coming, all their big titles, and like they're just now starting to come out, and like we see Horizon came out this year, GT Sport came out this year, and now we're moving into Monster Hunter World, which has Aloy in it, Shadow of the Colossus remake, God of War coming early this year, and then in the fall we're starting to get into other games. But like Nintendo gave us this roadmap 6 months ago, and like we're 6 months out from getting all these games they've already confirmed, and then we're 6 months away, like we're 12 months away from like having another overloaded holiday season, to the point where it's like I kind of want them to like slow down a little bit, I would really like them to slow down a little bit.
And what if we get a second year DLC season of Breath of the Wild? Like they could expand that, like out of the blue.
Plus we have Grezzo's game, like the Legend remake game. Like we'll probably have some sort of announcement on, like, if not next year, like that'll be the big announcement for 2019, would be like another Zelda game. And honestly, we already got Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker. The only one left is Skyward Sword. My bet is that it is a Skyward Sword HD remake for Switch, and that it will still implement motion controls, and everybody's going to be real sad because it's not as good as Breath of the Wild.
But you can still play with the control, I think. I think they will.
I mean, that would be super smart.
Controller.
I super hope so. I hope they rework that game, because that game story probably has the best Zelda story, just in terms of like Link and Zelda as kids type story, which is super endearing and a super smart route to go. And it has a really cool art style, and it has a lot of great ideas that we saw fleshed out in Breath of the Wild. But like, just give me a normal Zelda game, man. If you're gonna do it, make it like Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time. Don't give me the motion controls where every enemy in the landscape is a freaking puzzle. Like, I don't.
And I think, well, but I think that maybe like Y and X at the top Y could be your horizontal, X could be your vertical. Maybe the LR and or ZR,
Hmm.
maybe the top buttons can be for
Yeah,
direction
yeah,
or
like
something like
yeah,
that.
you could apply the different directions to different buttons, and that would be smart. Like almost like DMC, how you can have like a light attack and heavy
Yeah.
attack, but it would be like a horizontal, vertical, and then you hold down. I don't want to say you hold down a trigger because you're gonna want to use that for your bow, but like you have the light heavy attack system but horizontal vertical, and then somehow maybe you implement a horizontal, like a diagonal slice in there. I don't know, maybe it's the bumpers instead of the triggers,
And
if we're talking
Skyward
extra
Sword
things.
looks, and I also gotta say, Skyward Sword looks beautiful still. And with them just going in and cleaning some of the graphics and kind of do not much
I
of a
mean,
remaster, but like you said, like doing it, like make it 1080p HD,
yeah,
like really just like get into that game, brighten up the colors, like they could do so much, and I think people will appreciate it, and it would get a better
I think
respect.
I think like a small amount of work to that game would go a long way in preserving that
Yes.
title. Like, I mean, I know we've been going for like an hour and a half, but like this will probably be our last topic. But like Skyward Sword, it's the only mainline Zelda game I have not finished. Like, well, and except for like Zelda 1 and 2, like I've never finished those, but like like the 3D Zelda games, that's the only 3D Zelda I've never finished. It's the one the story I was most intrigued in, you know.
Yes.
Like I loved the story about Link and Zelda, just a simple friendship story, and it was like an almost like an origin story too. It was like this is how the Master Sword was created, right? And it's like I want to see that story through, and the thing that was holding me back and a lot of other players was the motion, and like a little work can go a long way, and I think it would really benefit, and like yeah, the items could be tied to the D-pad, whatever, but like there's no jump button, so like as long as you have the right item equipped to the D-pad, like the directions on the D-pad, like okay, you could
Yes.
press B and use that item, right? Like that's how it's going to work. And so like there's so many cool things you could do with that. I just hope they do it right. So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind them if they ported Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD either to Switch, but that's just me. So
Twilight Princess. Again, that one and Skyward Sword I need to finish. I got to almost the ending of Twilight Princess, but I didn't beat one of the dungeons, so I never got to Ganon.
I still think like I still think Twilight Princess is a really viable option just for the simple fact that amiibo works in Breath of the Wild,
Uh-huh.
and like you want that functionality to be available for people, especially like if they're still getting Switches and Zelda's the game they're gonna buy.
You know what?
But
I think even if they don't do it, I would love to just see it be like a Wii U, virtual console.
yeah, like like a Wii U port would be fine. Like
Yeah.
I still think like a lot of the Wii U games are gonna get ported at some point. Like I really honestly think the Wii U games are gonna get ported. I think you know Captain Toad is a good one that could get ported. Mario 3D World, the Zelda games, like they all could get ported, and it would be like, yeah, yeah, I'll buy them again, But I don't know. It's E3 is a long way away, and I just want to make it through. I just want to make it to the January Direct to see like what they actually had to offer. Like I think the January Direct's really going to focus on the games that are coming out through May. I think it's going to focus on Yoshi. I think it's going to focus on Kirby, Wolfenstein, Fire Emblem. We still don't know. Like Fire Emblem is slated for Q2. Like
Yes.
don't have a title or gameplay for it yet, so like probably time to show that game. Uh, so that's it's gonna be a good time come 2018. So hope you guys got big memory cards because those games are coming.
I might literally have to replace my memory. I might just have to spend the $250. Be like, look, I need a 1 terabyte like an SD card.
Are they available yet? Are the 1 terabytes available yet?
I thought they were.
I mean, I know the 400 gig ones on Amazon are like $150, but or the 400 gig one, but anyways, Ed, this has been a good time.
Yes,
This has been a really, really good time, and
so good to be back.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you so much for listening to Nintendo Power Block. We do the show every week. We have a really, really good time. You can email the show at nintendopowerblock@gmail.com. We will answer your questions at some point. We just want to get through that rumor mill. You know, we usually kind of set aside specific episodes for question block, but you know, if you have anything you want to contribute, just email us and look for question threads in the Nintendo Power Block Facebook group and the NGR Radio Facebook group. You can find the show on ngrradio.com and on our YouTube page. With that said, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode, and you can also check out my podcast, Optional Opinion, on SoundCloud. And also check out Nintendo Power Block on Facebook. I once again will throw up my Switch code and my 3DS code. And I'm going to also do it for my 2DS also, if you guys want to add that to your system. So yeah, check all that stuff out. And Arsenal X. Have a great episode this coming Wednesday, so you guys might want to look at that. Me, Corey, and Jesse have a very good discussion. Even before we get into the Arsenal exchange, that discussion was good. And just see our hype for Ninja Turtles. So, yes.
Yeah, we had a really good discussion about Ninja Turtles. Man. You can find me at CoreyNUHD on Twitter, CoreyNHD on Instagram and Twitch. You can find me on NGR Radio, Arsenal X, World War I, and of course Nintendo Power Block every week. So come like, subscribe, and share, and rate us, whatever, all that good stuff on your podcast service of choice. Thank you so much for watching.
Corey, one more thing. Everybody, check out the episode at Nintendo Domain. Me and Corey was on that episode. So yeah, check it out.
Right. Make sure you go subscribe to their podcast as well. Nintendo Main Podcast. Trey and his crew were gracious enough to have us on their show, and they will be back at some point. They're really, really cool dudes. So
yes.
Yeah. I try to put them on our feature page on the website too. So anyways, check them out. They're in our Facebook groups too. So I told them they could post their podcast in our group. So if you're in the group, you find it somewhere. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. And until next week, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woohoo!